One of the things that just bugs me in this mortgage industry is people's what I'd call a failed mindset or a failure-based mindset. And it really, really winds me up. And I'm going to rant about it a little bit, but all said with love and joy to all of you guys at the same time. But let me just explain to you. So I get spoken to all the time by people message me and they ask questions and always about their business, and they're always the same thing. They're always, I'm really busy, I'm really stressed, I want to do more. And most of the time, what I also find is that they believe they're going to build some really large business. This is the other thing within this, is that they'll tell me how they're really stressed and busy, but their goal is to build and scale a business. They want staff, they want team members, they want introducers and partnerships, they want to have incredible work-life balance, they want all these things. And this comes up quite often. I recently took on a client, and this is what's kind of split this off. And this client, we no longer work together. This client's great, there's a nice person, but they said this exact same thing. And this is what's inspiring this kind of conversation now, is they said the exact same thing when I spoke to them. They're like, I want all this stuff. And they lasted 2 months working with me. 2 months. Because the dream of what they wanted, the idea of this business and this goal, and I'm going to grow this thing, the reality of actually creating that was not as sexy or as glamorous as they thought, because they had to address that they actually sucked at what they were doing right now, and that they had to focus on really one or two things to move that needle forward. Instead of being a busy fool, they had to focus on one or two things. I've spoken about this before, but not in the same way, which is that this individual, and this happens all the time, so it's not a reflection on this individual, this happens all the time. But when they get on the call, they're like, okay, cool, I want to go ahead, I'm going to do this. And that's great. But when we actually got under the hood, what was the issues with their business? Well, the issues was that they were, they were overrun with admin, really bad at time management. So it was a time management problem. Admin was being a real big issue. They weren't really selling any protection whatsoever. I mean, like zero, no diary management at all, and no work-life balance at all. No process within the sales, and also being pulled left, right, and centre by their introducers. When I spoke to them, they looked tired and stressed. They were constantly tired and stressed, in fact, when I spoke to them. The issue lies with this, though, in this situation was, within the first couple of sessions, which I do this with everybody, by the way, what you'll find with me and anyone who works with me is I'm really direct. I'm very honest, I'm very direct, and I will teach you what works. I have a track record and a reputation of getting results. That's my thing in the industry. I have sales and marketing techniques that actually work. I had an advisor message me a couple of weeks ago, did 170,000 as a one-man band effectively in June, just in 1 month, 170,000. Many of my advisors go from 60, 70K to doing 150 to 200,000. I can get results and I can get them to run great businesses, but it's not easy. And that's why I'm going to be talking it's not simple. That's why I say when people come to me with this, it's pretty tough. But the thing is, they then leave. So what happened, and then very few people do leave, but this specifically happened, but it was when they leave, the feedback is, it's just not right now. The time's not right. It's a lot to take in. Which, by the way, I'm not salty about that. I literally replaced them the next day. Like, it's fine. I have no issue with people not being right. My issue within this situation, and my story I want to share with this, is that I think people need to be aware of their own situation, be self-aware. If you want to run a business and grow a business and progress, and you come to a coach to progress, and you want to research, you have to face the demons and slay those demons. You have to go. I'm a big, like I said, a gamer. I'm interested in like retro video games. That's kind of my hobby outside of work. Is that, you've got to think of a next boss. You have to fight the boss, level up, and move on. And the vast majority of brokers who are not doing that, who are sitting, spinning their wheels, and still not, but telling everybody, still not doing the right things, telling everybody at their networking meetings and at their meetings with clients, oh yeah, well, business is going good, we're growing. No, you're not. You suck. You suck. That's just what it is. By the way, that's okay. If you want a sucky business, and you can do that. But don't say you want this thing, but then do the other thing. Guess what? It is hard to be good. It's hard to get the results that you think you deserve. You have to do the hard work. You have to. And I love this quote, which Alex Hormozi says, which he says, if it's hard, don't think, poor me, I have to do it. Think, poor everyone else who has to do it as well. Because they do. The reason that I've been successful and have a waiting list and can replace people literally within 24 hours is purely because I've worked very hard and done the right things. So what should you do? What should you actually focus on? What are the mistakes I see people doing, and then the things you should focus on? Well, the first thing you should focus on is, if you want to scale a business, you want to grow a business, first thing is you need to be in control of you first. So, number one, fix your time management. Time management is important. Time management, task management, diary management. I've done so many videos on that in the past, but you need to be in control of you. Are you productive? If you can't get to something on time, if you are not doing things when you say you're going to do them, if you are not being able to remember your clients and their situations, then that is rule number one. Fix that. Don't worry about leads or things. Fix that. That's the first thing. The second thing you then need to do, if you've gone that now, is then you need to start looking at, how do I generate leads? Now, generating leads is about growing your own lead generation system, not about getting leads. Getting leads and generating leads are two very different things. So getting leads is going to go to people who and get what we call active prospects, which are people who are ready to buy a house now, hot to trot leads. These are people who are ready to buy a house. They could be a estate agency. You might be buying leads. You might be running ads. You're catching them when they're ready. They're normally what we would refer to as high demand leads. That is not generating leads. That is getting leads. And that, by the way, is a sure sign that you should be employed. If you can only constantly go, I want leads who are ready, I want leads who are ready, that is the first sign that you're not really maybe cut out for this, and you either need to change your mindset, or you need to leave and go and be a broker at Connells. Go and be a broker at Connells if that's what you want to do, because they're going to give you hot trot leads all the time. But that's not how the real world works, because generating leads is about looking at the 95% of that pie, not the 5%, which is what we would call passive prospects, which are people who are not ready for a mortgage right now, but they will be in the future. And that is about creating content, creating brand touch points online and offline. It's about creating reputation through networking. It's about building that. That is planting seeds in a garden so that you can bear many like types of fruit over the years within your business. That's how you run a business. The other one, you're just self-employed order taker. So fix your time management, then build a lead generation system that allows you to effectively generate leads. I've got so many videos on this as well. So again, it's crazy. So fix your lead generation. So fix your time management and yourself and being a productive human, then fix your lead generation. At this point, you are now probably semi-good. You should be able to, at that point, be pretty good. Now what you want to do then, once you fix that, is now you look at your customer retention. So you're looking at your customer retention, you say, okay, how am I making sure that I'm doing what I'm saying I'm going to do? I'm then going to fix my lead generation. Now I'm going to then well, actually not customer retention, you look at maximizing sales. So now I'm like, okay, cool. Now I need to try and make the most out of every single person that comes through the door. So how do we do this? We create a process. We have to have a process that we follow, not just flying by the seat of our pants. We have to have a process, and that process needs to be something we stick to. That means reading a script. That doesn't mean just thinking and talking, but especially if you want to grow a business, because everybody else has to do the same thing. You've got to be able to teach the process. If you can't have a process, otherwise you bring on brokers, it's not going to work. So you need to think about that. You bring on brokers, they follow their own process, it's a mess. So what do you do with that? You bring on somebody, and so you learn how to create a sales process. So that is a discovery call, a submission call, that is setting it up, that is closing it, that is baking in a sales process that you know that once you do it, every single time, if a client doesn't take insurance or doesn't work with you, it's because they didn't want it. Not because you failed, not because you didn't bring it up, but because they didn't want it. That means that when people don't take it, you don't get upset about it, you don't get butthurt, well, you just go, okay, cool, wasn't right. They didn't want that. They were never going to take it because I've got the right process. So sales maximization, that's the next bit. Then from there, and then from that, like I said, at that point, you then look at your client retention, which is what I saw before. So now we've got, you're really good at your time. You're really, really good at generating leads. You have a system that generates leads. You're now really good at maximizing your sales. Now you're trying to keep those clients and get them to refer. So you're building referral systems within your business and customer satisfaction, which is going to improve all the other three. You're going to get more sales. You're going to be better with your diary management because you want to do a better result for the people. And you're going to get more leads because lead generation will come from referrals. So you build that out. Once you've done that, and only once you've done that, do you now look at bringing in staff, and you bring in staff at this point and you bring them in for specific roles. There are 3 main roles within mortgage services businesses. You have customer care, you have sales and advice, and you have power planning and back end, meaning customer care is everything customer facing, and they're going to be what I would class as the gatekeeper, or like a receptionist in the word now but in a digital way. Then you're going to have the sales and advice, which is going to be the advisor, it's the regulated role, and then you're going to have a power planner. The power planner is going to be there for the power plan is going to be there for like doing effectively everything back end. That's what you bring in. Those are the 3 roles. Those 3 roles are set up to scale, because guess what? They're all going to follow the same process we've already made. They're going to be following the sales processes, the timekeeping processes, the lead generation processes. They're all built in around this staff, because the staff are now learning something that's been very, very structured, incredibly structured. Then you can then bring in individuals, you can bring in other brokers that can scale up to the bloody moon if you wanted to. It doesn't really matter. Those are the things you need to focus on. And then only then, if you want to, maybe you bring in a training department to train your advisors in regards to like some sort of CMAP qualification stuff if you want to bring new people in. That is what you need to do. But most people look at that and go, that's a lot. Yes, it is a lot. But that's how you grow a successful business in this industry. That's how you do it. A successful business is not hiring brokers and then all of you making like a 5% profit margin, 10% profit margin. And that's just stupid. Don't do that. Run a business where you actually make money, and you do it by focusing on all of those like 5 things. They're like the main things. And if you can't do that because it's scary or hard, then don't bloody do it. But don't say you want to grow a business because it's dreamers. It just drives me mad. And it's not this specific client. Like, this guy's fine. He was never fine. But it's a situation of, I get this all the time, and I'm always the bad guy, kind of pissing on people's dreams. And it's like, no, I don't. It's just truthful. They come like, I'm going to be a business owner. I'm like, you can't even turn up to a meeting on time. You're not. Fix these things. I've had clients with me for like 6 years, and guess what? They do all of those, and they are business owners. It's naive of us when we get on and we go, I'm going to do this, to which we then don't. So if you are somebody who genuinely wants to be the 1%, somebody who's good, who runs this mortgage business in the mindset you think you have, which most of you do, then start doing this stuff. And if you're going to come and work with me, come knowing that I'm going to hold you account to that. And anything less than that is unacceptable for me, because my reputation is on the line of delivering great results, because I'm a guy that does that. And I will not accept anything less from you than to do it right. And I think that you should not accept anything less for yourself. Now, if you enjoyed this video, you want to check out this video on screen now, which was actually a playlist, and a playlist that dives deeper into all of those things that I just spoke about. So these are the playlists about sales, about marketing, about customer retention, and about the staff framework. You can go and click on that playlist there, deep dive into it. It's definitely something you should check out if you want to learn how to really take it by the balls and do it right. Give it a click.